Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We have a nice little surprise. A fellow YouTuber, Justin Fio, has a downed engine. It was a stock bottom end 5.9 in a 04.5, 05 truck. He put on a lot of cool parts. I watched the video. He had a 467.7 second gen swap, stroker CP3, bigger injectors from Flux Diesel, and 625s. You know, he tried to do it right. And like I've seen many times, it sucks, but it let go on him. He butted a ring, I believe it was cylinder 4 or cylinder 6, broke the ring. It happens. He had a lot of blow by, and I'm assuming probably had some pretty hard feelings because he dumped a lot of money into the truck. And I've been there, and I see it happen quite often. Some guys will go, I remember watching the Lucero brothers with that mega cab, 1200 horsepower on a stock bottom end. So when it's your time, it's your time. But man, did he step up big. So we have his goal, I believe it's like 750, 800. I told Justin, I was like, hey, let's just build it for 1,000. That way you got room to grow. He said, sure. So here's what we got for a recipe for him. We went ahead and bored his engine out 20 over. The scoring on cylinder 6 was enough where I thought it might clean up on a hone, but he might have some blow by from too much piss in the wall. So we went ahead, punched it out 20 over, and we got it surfaced. We got the bottom end line honed with ARP 12 mil studs that fit a factory girdle. And then from there, we went ahead and also got a fresh cam bushing installed in it. And we also went ahead and made sure his crank was balanced and also polished. It's a micro polishing our machine shop offers. Seems to help quite a bit as far as lubrication goes. So it's one of those mods I just always include in pretty much every build, unless the customer is just adamant on staying as strict a budget as they can. What it does is it just opens up the oil clearance a little bit for the higher horsepower stuff. That way you get a little bit more bearing clearance, less chance of having a bearing get stuck and spin on you. So we have ARP 12 millimeter main studs in the bottom end. Moving up from there, we have a set of Wagler as forged Street Fighter rods. You guys have seen us use these time and time again. They're in the 07. I've had them in an engine in the 05. 1600 horsepower, back to back to back, 32 poles. Never had an issue. They have this awesome 1/2 inch L19 rod fastener, a really cool lock on the cap. We run their nicer rods in the Will and Todd's UCC truck. I've ran them before. They take a beating and they come out looking fresh as ever. For a camshaft, he went ahead and went with a Hamilton 178-208 cam and a set of Hamilton's cast 1.45 tappets. Whether you buy it from Hamilton, Colt, or D&J, there's a couple other companies. I know No Limit makes them. This 178-208 cam is an extremely popular choice because it works extremely well. Really helps kick those chargers in the butt down low. And on a truck with a 467.7 on it, you're not making power at 5,000 RPM, so you might as well put the cam in there that fits the power band of the turbo and your horsepower goals. That being said, in the 05, when we had all those comp blocks, this was the cam we had in there to make it fit with the cam clearance and the ported cylinder head we ran. 1800 horsepower through a cast cam, no issues whatsoever. From there, connected to that, we're just gonna run the Molly provided wrist pin. Again, 1300, 1400 horsepower. These really don't have an issue. Right around 15, you'll actually see them deflect and start to gall into the rod end and into the piston. And then we have a set of Molly Clevites rings. And from there, because it's a 178-208 cam, no fly cuts needed. We will check his piston and valve clearance, but I'm not really worried. We've done this quite often. For bearings, Molly H's for the mains, Molly H's for the rods. Hard to beat that setup. So let's go ahead and kind of show you what other parts we're going to go ahead and use. As far as the other parts that aren't pictured that are boring, we have an Interstate McBee upper gasket set, an Interstate McBee lower gasket set, a new Cummins oil cooler, new Cummins oil pump. We have Interstate McBee piston jet squirters. These are something, those 3 items right there I've replaced on every engine build. I do not negotiate with that because they're important. You wouldn't replace your entire human body and leave an old heart. These are literally what cool the pistons. I see them broken, cracked, melted. They're like $6. Just buy them. Seriously, just freaking buy them. And then an oil cooler, depending on how the coolant was treated, service regularly. You can have pitting, you set yourself up for a milkshake, and I don't want to do that to Justin either. As far as his cylinder head goes, we're going to go ahead and reuse his head. JH Diesel did a ton of the work. I know they surfaced it. We'll check to make sure if it's flat. If it's flat, Hamilton firing head gasket. We're going to reuse his 625s and just put them back in. Guys, you can reuse 625 studs. I've even reused ARP 2000s, or as some of you guys say, ARP 425s. I've reused them, no problems at all. Just make sure the fastener is not rusted, pitted, stretched, galled, damaged in any way, and you'll be fine. So let's show you what the block looks like. So here's his engine block, pardon the mess, UCC prep, all that. Fresh cam bearing, nice and clean. We already got it cleaned, oiled, bagged. Got his crankshaft here. We're gonna weld the gear on, and then here's all his old core parts. That some of them we're gonna clean, reuse. Like I said, his oil cooler in the trash, but all reuse will pickup tube, gear case, front cover, valve cover, adapter plate, oil pan, block stiffener. I don't care. We're gonna put his flex plate back on and set him up for success. And here's his number 6 piston. You guys can see here the ring's missing. This is the one that scored. It sucks. Cummins piston. Nothing wrong. You guys can kind of see some skirt wear here, but man, you look at his engine. I think it was right at 300K. I mean, rod bearings don't look that bad for the mileage. Nothing was really wrong when we took it apart. It just butted the ring, scored the cylinder, and from there the oil cap was doing the flap, flap, flap. It just sucks. But everything, all his core parts, it all looked great. And I want to be clear, guys, I'm not picking on Justin. Justin's a great guy. I've watched his channel for, I don't know, probably almost 2 years now. He does a lot of cool features on other people's trucks and then showcases his own. He's very big in the aesthetics of the truck. This was his first really, in my opinion, big dip into some horsepower, and it really sucks that this happened. I mean, again, I see it on Firepunk forum, all the Facebook forums. Guys will modify these things and they let go, and it sucks because guys will just beat the living hell out of these stock bottom ends and they hold on forever. And then you got a guy like Justin, paid a professional shop, bought the top of the line parts, and it just failed. Nobody did anything wrong. Justin didn't do anything wrong. JH Diesel didn't do anything wrong. It just happens. That's the luck of the draw. My job is just to get his engine built so he can make the Daytona truck meet and enjoy his truck. And if he wants to turn up the power, which Justin, I really hope you do, 800s, I mean, dude, that's like tow truck numbers, brother. But anyway, I digress. Not everybody's as retarded as I am and wants 1,500 horse in a daily driver. But if he wants to turn up the power, it'll be there for him. If he wants to keep it alone, this engine will go a really long time being built the way it is. To finish off the engine build, I said the Hamilton firing gasket. We're going to reuse his Hamilton valve springs and reuse his Hamilton push rods. Nothing wrong with them. Good products. Shouldn't have any issues. Should go a really long time, just like every other part we're using on here. I'm not sure if we'll do a video on the full assembly or if I'll save the B-roll for him, but I wanted to show you guys what a 1000 horsepower 5.9 build is, because I feel like I might have lost a couple of you shooting for the moon with that 6.7 block. So hopefully you guys like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Make sure check out his channel. And as always, guys, drop a comment and I will catch you on the next one.